Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Listen, I'm just catching up on some news this week. I've been taking a look at the overnight viewing figures for Doctor Who, and I found out some interesting things that have also been said. Let's get into it because even though it's probably already been done, I'm going to cover it anyway because I haven't done it yet. Now, I know the overnight viewing figures are just that, and that viewing figures have changed, but there is an appalling 2.6 million and 2.4 million. And that's for Space Babies and The Devil's Chord. And what I find really, really interesting is that the BBC have gone on to blame it on the good weather. Figures are also likely to have been affected by good weather in the UK. Or let's just face it, maybe, just maybe, people were taking Ncuti Gatwa's advice and going out and touching grass. However, that's not the first time they've claimed something like that. They have claimed it before when only 6.2 million people tuned in to watch the last episode in the current series of Doctor Who on Saturday night. And this was back when the final episode saw the Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston, regenerate into the next Time Lord, played by David Tennant. So it's not a new story. They've blamed it on the good weather before. Did anyone buy it back then? I wonder. I'm certainly not buying it now. So they told us not to watch Doctor Who. Now, I did for the benefit of my channel and helping some other channels out as well. But for the most part, a lot of people were told to go and touch grass, and they were referred to as angry pork, but I'm not going to actually say the word right there because I don't want this video restricted. And well, let's have a look really at Bounding Into Comics. This article right here from Bounding Into Comics. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies dismisses critics of his decision to focus on series on queer themes in dark little corners. People might argue, but that's not the real world. I hate to break it to you, Russell T Davies, but Doctor Who technically isn't the real world. The messaging that goes into Doctor Who is generally done metaphorically rather than telling us that this is what we're going to listen but apparently times are very much changing, and Doctor Who is now becoming a soap before the watershed. So he said at one point, making note of how the show just keeps leaning more into queer themes and everything, especially since the specials. And then Casey eventually asked Davis if he could speak about leaning into that more intentionally, to which the showrunner replied, "It's funny because, to be absolutely honest, it's almost not that deliberate. That's the life that I led." Or lead. I wrote Queer as Folk in 1999 that broke down many barriers, and I'm never going to step back from that. In fairness, no one's ever asked me to step back from that. And I just think it doesn't feel particularly queer to me. It feels natural. It's 2024 and we're all embracing this. Twitter, X, might kick off, and in dark little corners, people might argue, but that's not the real world. The real world is one of acceptance and with battles to be fought and votes to be gained. Yes, in many respects, I actually agree with that sentiment. However, this is not something that I feel like Doctor Who should actually be encompassing. And if you are going to encompass messaging, then it should be encompassed metaphorically rather than telling us. But I've already said that, so I don't know why I'm reiterating it. You see, when he brought Doctor Who back in 2005, yes, there was a little bit of gayness and queerness going on in it, but it wasn't OTT. It wasn't over the top. Was it rammed down the throats of us? For me personally, no. But now it's at the stage where I'm doing it whether you like it or not. Now, our beloved Jinx Monsoon has also weighed in on this as well and doesn't seem too pleased, to be honest. Jinx declared Russell T Davies brought Doctor Who to everyone. Actually, that's not correct. If you've done your research, that's Verity Lambert, but clearly you haven't. He brought it back because he was passionate about it. To the people who have issues, the show that you love was created by a queer person. Get over it. No, it was created by Verity Lambert. And when it was brought back in 2005, it didn't bother me that RTD is gay. A lot of people are really going to love this, and I think this is the season to is going to create a lot of new Doctor Who fans. Monsoon continued, and if we lose some of the transphobic ones, don't let the door hit you on your way out. Okay, so if you don't like it, you're a transphobe. Is that news to you? Shocking. Absolutely shocking. First of all, that's actually a very rude way of talking. And why should you tell that to genuine Doctor Who fans? In actual fact, there could be people who want to watch the show as it is now and just hear the way that you're talking and you're like, "Oh, I'm done. I don't want it." If that's the way you're going to talk to people. Monsoon adds, there's a lot of toxicity around the gender and the trans conversation in the 70s. It was the conversation of queerness, the gay conversation. We overcame it once and will overcome it again. To the people who are upset about it, boo hoo, cry your effing tears. It's not your world exclusively. We all live here, so get over yourself. Wow, someone's mad. I know a lot of people might not even watch this season of Doctor Who because it's taken such a decisively queer step. The actor, correction, drag queen, continued. However, if they watch it, I think they'll see that we're just actors. No, you're a drag queen, playing characters. And if they don't watch it, then who needs them? I truly believe that for every fan we lose to transphobia, we're going to have 2 or 3 more coming in because they're excited for trans representation. Yeah, your viewing figures really showed it. RTD and Jinx Monsoon are not the only ones who have had something to say about it. New Doctor Who star Ncuti Gatwa feels sad for critics of show's diversity. Now, overall, I didn't have a problem with the Doctor being black. I don't have the problem with the actor playing the Doctor being queer in real life. So he talks about Doctor Who for a bit, which is fine. They asked this question, and I'm going to ask it to you. Can Doctor Who be too woke? What do you think? Leave a comment below of what you think about that. Can it be too woke? And if you say it's always been woke, then you really do have to back that up. I ask you to, please. So they're talking here about the LGBT and um, Jinx being non-binary. And then it says, the star says he's processing it all by focusing on the love he's gotten from fans, which outweighs the hate. And this is talking about racism. He's also careful to point out that he's not the only actor to be the target of racism and that others have had it worse, non white actors like The Little Mermaid star Halle Bailey and Obi-Wan Kenobi's co star Moses Ingram face racism plus misogyny. Now, it's interesting that you should mention that because the behavior between yourself and Halle, for example, were completely different. Anyway, he continues, I don't want to diminish racial aggression at all. He adds, but for me personally, I find it fascinating that it matters so much to these people. You are going to limit yourselves from a show you claim to love. No, nobody claims. If they say they love it, that means they love it. They don't have to like you, and people can love you, and that's absolutely fine. Anyway, it goes on to say because you don't like something about someone's appearance or their race, it's just really sad for them. Like, how patronizing can you get? I ain't got a problem with your race. The problem is, it's the storytelling and the forced messaging that doesn't need to be done. It's not a soap opera. If I want messaging, I will go and watch some tripe like EastEnders. He also goes on to say, and I find this quite funny because, but it warms my heart to know that little black kids out there will be like, oh, I can be the doctor, Gatwa says. It feels like a huge lovely responsibility. So you are aware of the amount of responsibility that it comes to when you're playing a character like the Doctor. So if you are that aware of it, why are we calling people pork? Why are we telling people to go and touch grass? Why are we saying this is happening? Doctor's going to be queer. Why are we doing all of this when you want to be a role model? It's not very role model, in my opinion. RTD's not setting any sort of role models, is he? And nor is Jinx. You tell people if you don't like it, go touch grass. So that's what they did. They didn't like it, so they went and touched grass and didn't watch, and now it's showing. So, viewers, did you go and watch it or did you touch grass? I'm interested to know. And if you touched grass, what did you do whilst touching grass? So, Boom is going to be released this weekend. I'll be interested to see what the viewing figures are for Boom. I'm expecting it. potentially to be a little bit higher because people do like Stephen Moffat. Let me know what you think. Chat about it, don't shout about it. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.